All right, man. So I got some comments on this last video that I uploaded, and I think it really gives a good glimpse into kind of what a lot of people's misconceptions about what this exercise and lifting and all this stuff is. Um, Definitely tangential to a lot of stuff that old T Man, Master T over at Genetic Beast talks about. Um, because definitely he's on the right track with the way he thinks about things, and a lot of the things he says is true. But anyways, that's let's get into some of these comments here. First of all, let's go to this one. Kevinism 12. He's saying, "Why no belt? Why am I not wearing a belt?" Well, let me ask. Let me answer that with a question. Why would I wear a belt? Tell me, why would I wear a belt? What is a belt? What is a belt doing, man? It's it's giving you support, right? And why would you wear a belt? Well, maybe to lift more weight. Okay. Well, in that case, why don't I just buy a forklift and lift the weight with a forklift? I know it's not exactly the same thing, but really it kind of is, right? Cuz you're lifting this weight, right? You're doing whatever you're doing, but you're using equipment to do it. So, are you actually better at it? I mean, who's to say, right? Now you might say like in sports, like, oh, football players wear gloves. Well, yeah, but they're allowed to. So of course they're going to, because it helps you, right? But if you wanted to be just by yourself alone with no equipment, if you wanted to be the best ball player you could, well, guess what? You wouldn't use equipment, right? But it's a game, and there's rules in the game, and obviously the goal of the game is to win, right? So in that case, you would. But it's all down to exactly what you're trying to get out of this. So, I mean, if you're a power lifter and you're competing, then yeah, maybe use a belt, because it will help you. It will make you lift more weight than you can by yourself, right? So my answer to that is, why would I wear a belt when I'm trying to make my body as fit and strong as possible, right? So there's that. No reason to wear a belt, man. Jocelyn X saying impressive, thank you. Harry Ballsack says says that's crazy. Then he goes on. He says, "Oh yeah, definitely. Even if I would be able to unrack this, my back would be pulverized instantly. Do you do this as an accessory to the squat? Does it help?" Well, that's an honest question. Am I using this as an accessory to the squat? The answer to that is no. I think the underlying kind of thought process behind this question is that of, you're in the mindset of, oh, I have to get better at squat, and I have to get better at this and this. Where I'm coming at it from a different approach here, where I'm just trying to get better at doing different things. I'm trying to adapt my body to doing different things and get better at doing all things instead of just squatting. So the answer to that is no, I don't use it as an accessory to squat. Does it help with squat? I mean, I could imagine, yeah, because, you're getting used to having more weight on your back, right? And like I said in my reply to him, I said that it'll make your max squat feel lighter on your back, which is true. Is it going to directly correlate to getting your squat better? Probably really not. But that's not the intent here. Then he goes, "That's interesting. I might try it out. I would definitely encourage you to try it out. I'll have you know, the first time I ever did it, I could do about 500, and then after that, I did. But that was back when I was still kind of getting over my leg injury. I was still having to relearn adaptations to fix my leg from all the atrophy they underwent. So 500, then I did like 650 a couple months ago, and then the adaptations just came in like a freaking swarm of locusts, right? And now I'm in the thousands, probably projected to be in the multiple thousands at some time. So that's pretty cool. Keyword EG1RJ says, "Is it 500 kg at the top, including the bands?" Yeah. So basically, the straight weight on the bar, the bar weight, 45 pounds plus all the plates on it, is going to be like 645. And all the bands cumulatively on paper are supposed to be 490 pounds of band tension. But obviously the thing about bands is like, okay, it says 100-pound band, but at what length do you have to stretch it to where the band is exerting 100 pounds of force? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that I did stretch them pretty damn good to where they were definitely gluing the bar down to the rack. I did unrack the bar. I did unrack the bar with just the bands on it. And I don't know, man. I would say probably it felt something like 300 pounds or something. So that would be 645 plus 300 would be my honest estimate of what I was feeling at the top. So what is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, like 950 or something, somewhere around there. Could have been 1,000, could have been 9. I don't know, man. Or, maybe it was even more than that. I couldn't tell you. Something around 1,000. On paper, it is 500 kg, but, and Morris Andrew, he goes, impressive for sure, although band tension and straight weight is much different in terms of how each one feels in my experience. Well, yeah, obviously, because if you're doing a bench press or you're doing anything, the band's going to exert more force at the top, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. It's changing the force vector, I believe, that you're experiencing. So you're going to feel more tension in one part of the range of motion than the other, obviously. In my experience, I would also say straight weight with 1,000 pounds versus a mixture of the bands is actually heavier. Well, yeah, obviously, because if you have 1,000 pounds on the bar of straight weight, right, it's 1,000 pounds straight from the get-go, whereas the bands get heavier and heavier as you lift up. And even though, the squat unrack's only like a couple inches of range of motion, the first inch is going to be lighter than the last inch, right? So obviously, I wish I had 1,000 pounds and I could put 1,000 pounds straight weight on the bar. I might have to go to the gym to do that. He goes on, he says, although this is indeed an impressive feat of strength, I don't see it as beneficial to do a static hold far, far out of the range of what you're doing for your 1RM. Well, again, this is why are we talking about 1RM squats? Is that all we know how to do? Is that all you can do? I mean, so are you telling me, he's telling me it's an impressive feat of strength, but he's telling me he wouldn't do it because it's not going to help his 1 rep max. Well, I mean, do you know that? Do you know if it's going to help your 1 rep max? I mean, I'd agree with you. It's probably not going to too much, but it's like, who cares? That's not why I'm doing it. But anyway, I agree with him, but that's kind of my, where I differ from my approach, in that I'm not just trying to make my 1 rep max squat better. I'm trying to get better at doing everything, right? It's not going to help your 1 rep max because you only risk frying out your body's CNS and ability to adapt to something heavier. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying there. I'm not sure. I get kind of what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that doing this is gonna take away recovery ability for training your squat. Where I would say, that's completely the wrong approach to take to this. It's going to fry out your body's CNS. Well, let me ask you this. Is it going to fry out my CNS, or is it going to make my CNS stronger? Okay? And that's the real difficult question here that you have to answer for yourself, okay? It's really not a difficult question. It's really easy to answer, because what are the underlying... this is what everybody gets so into the details of these things that they don't look at the broad picture. They don't look at the thousand feet perspective, okay? Your body adapts to the stress that it's placed under, okay? So I'm going to risk frying out my body's CNS and ability to adapt to something heavier. Well, maybe in the short term, yes, maybe I might fry out my CNS. Maybe after I did it for the next day or the next 2 days or even the next week or potentially even the next 2 weeks, as I've noticed, doing extremely heavy things like this that really tax just the nervous system, super heavy, I have noticed that actually it takes me a couple weeks to a month or two to actually recover from it fully to where I'm stronger than I was before. It takes that long for your body to really adapt to it. See, the adaptive systems of your body, all the different systems in your body, they adapt at different rates, right? So whereas if you get sore in your quadricep, if you have DOMS in your quads or your bicep, that DOMS might clear up within a couple to a handful of days, and then you're ready to go and you've adapted now and you're stronger or can do more reps or whatever it is. Whereas other things like your bones and your tendons and your central nervous system, which is the connection of your brain to your muscles and tendons, can take a lot longer. So yes, in the short term, maybe I'll be in a deficit. But in the long term, right, your body is going to adapt to it, and then so once you do it again, at a later date, you'll actually be stronger because you adapted, which is exactly what your body does. It adapts to the things you do as long as you give it the correct material to heal and adapt to it, right? Also, I think another thing I would say against this comment here is that, is it going to fry out my CNS? Well, okay, let's think about this. If my CNS is capable of lifting 1,000 pounds, okay, but I'm only able to lift something like 365 pounds or something for a full squat, is my CNS really what's going to limit my squat max? I mean, I don't know. I couldn't really say. Personally, I really don't think so too much. I think they're too different. I'm not stressing the muscles associated with the squat really, because there's not really any range of motion. It's really only a central nervous system lift here, and if my CNS is able to lift 1,000 pounds, is it going to be so damaged that it can't lift 300 or 400? I don't think so. So I really don't think it's going to affect you as you might be thinking. Again, people just think about this too much and they get too caught up and they're like, oh, I'm a power lifter, I can't do anything else, I only have to power lift and I have to stay within however many RPE and whatever, where you can really get caught up in that and lose sight of the fact that what you're doing now is just being a power lifter and not being good at anything else, right? Where, if you take a longer look at exactly what you're trying to get here, maybe you'll realize that super specializing in just doing the squat, bench, and deadlift isn't gonna actually build your body into maybe what you want it to be, right? So anyways, that's my thought on that. He goes on, he says, I only suggest performing static holds within a realistic means of your already existing strength. Okay, well, yeah, my realistic strength here is that I lifted it, and I lifted it multiple times. So I am definitely staying within my realistic strength. Maybe an unrealistic strength would be trying to do 2,000 pounds and not being able to lift it. That would obviously be outside of my realistic strength, because in reality I wouldn't be able to lift it, right? But I'm definitely staying within my realistic means of lifting it. Again, you're coming at this from a perspective of I can only do things that help me get a better squat, where that's just completely in the box, dude. You're completely subjugated to the box, and you're not looking outside of the box at all, realizing that you can do other things that give you different adaptations that might actually help you overall, and also that other people are looking to do other things outside of just getting a better squat. So not really sure what he's saying there. And he goes on, he says, impressive, and not telling you how you should train. This is just me sharing my own opinion on static holds and the video itself. Well, yeah, that's completely fair. Definitely, I get where you're coming from. None of it applies to me at all. You might not be able to lift 1,000 pounds and recover from it. I can. So there is that. It might not be within your realistic means of already existing strength. It is for me. So there's that. What else did he say? What else did he say? Yeah, it is definitely different. It is definitely different. The reason I didn't use 1,000 pounds of straight weight is because I didn't have 1,000 pounds of straight weight. If I had more plates that could fit on the bar, I would have kept putting them on. But it is what it is there. You know, the fact that I maxed out the barbell's weight capacity, you know, that is what it is. But so yeah, man, that's the comments there. I think, you know, there was it was really good. It was a really good kind of portal into just how everybody in like fitness and stuff and all this is just really kind of you could say out to lunch for sure, because they're in this box and they don't see anything out of it, and they are really just overthinking everything, I think. And again, just within this box of I have to get my squat, my bench, and my deadlift better, and not realizing that doing other things is gonna let your body adapt and get stronger in different positions and therefore strengthen your body. Whereas if you're always moving in the same plane, you only ever get better at moving in that exact plane. And if you ever go out of that plane of movement, you have zero strength. You drop the weight and you die, okay? So I don't know, man. That's my thoughts on that. Yeah, man. See ya.